Hi, good morning. My name is Denise. I'm a health freedom activist in Northern California. I have a Facebook blog called The-Informed-Mama and I'm sorry, I'm looking at my stuff. And I also have a Instagram called The-Informed-Mama 209. So I'm going to talk to you guys about legislative session happening in California starting January 6th. I have been off for a while, but I want to get you guys up to speed on what's happening in California and across the nation, so that way you can be better prepared when we go to lobby. So last legislative session, Freedom Angels, we shut down and led civil disobedience at the Sacramento Capitol because they passed SB 276 and SB 714 under corruption and collusion. We were successful at shutting it down. They did pass the bill, but now the movement has changed to civil disobedience instead of just sitting and voting at the polls. So January 6th, we are going to be at the Sacramento Capitol. We will be returning. The 6th is a welcome back. We're gonna be there with our signs to let them know that we are not going away. We are going to return, and we're going to bring more people from more organizations. What we're seeing is an attack on our constitutional rights and our parental choices that we're making. California has passed numerous amounts of different bills that are atrocious. The first is a red flag gun law, to where anybody can say that you should have your guns removed, and you are guilty until proven innocent in court, and you can have your guns removed for up to 5 years. We also have a law to where we now have background checks to purchase ammunition. The goal is to disarm us so we can't protect ourselves. We also have bills to 12-year-olds can consent to medical procedures such as abortions, contraceptives, and the HPV vaccine without parental consent or knowledge. Planned Parenthood is coming up on the campuses of schools to help these children should they need those services, and parents are not being told at all what's happening, which is a problem, because what if there's a reaction to a procedure or a medication and parents aren't aware? We're seeing the sex ed program, which is completely out of control, teaching 4-year-olds about anal sex, teaching kindergartners about 15 different genders, teaching high or middle school children about blood play and how to properly use condoms during anal sex. These are overreaching of the state. We have a senator, his name is Senator Weiner. He introduced legislation to where pedophiles did not have to register on the sex offender registry if their victims were over the age of 10 years old. This did not pass, but these are the types of representatives that we have in California legislature right now. We have tyrants. We have Lorena Gonzalez, who passed AB 5, which puts independent contractors on the chopping block. They're going to be forced to join unions. They're going to be forced to give up some of their salary. I mean, what has been happening in California is complete tyranny, and it's happening all over the state. New York is going to be passing the HPV vaccine, even though there's huge pushback. We were there, Freedom Angels was there, and we saw Merck representatives coming out of the offices of these elected representatives. In order to pass the HPV law, they are also mandating the flu vaccine, and they are requesting the same as California to allow minor children to consent to medical procedures without parental consent. New Jersey, Trenton, New Jersey is going to have an Occupy as well as New York this legislative session. I hope that you join your local freedom activist organizations and show up to the Capitol. If you cannot show up, please help with resources, be it donations, food, water, or anything that those capitals will need in order to shut it down. California will be lobbying. So if you have never lobbied before, doesn't matter, we're going to teach you how to do it. Lobbying is something that I never thought that I would do, because I did not feel like it was my job to educate these representatives. I felt they are in office, they should know. Why do I have to go do that? But the fact of the matter is they are depending on their colleagues to tell them the truth. They're depending on their colleagues to give them all the information before they pass these bills. And most of the time, they don't read the bills. There was over 200 being passed, and it's impossible to read these bills. So now we have reps who are voting on bills that they have never read. And this is a huge problem, because we have special interest groups like the pharmaceutical companies spending like $2 million a legislative session to go in. They have all the money in the world. What we don't have parent lobbyists, because lobbying takes resources, it takes money. Fortunately, we have a great community that's willing to help and ready to get involved. So if you want to get involved with lobbying in California, this is not just for health freedom. This is to protect the Second Amendment. This is to reform the CPS corruption, because CPS is absolutely corrupt and complicit in child sex trafficking. This is a fact. If you want to help reform the sex ed program, these are all going to be things that we as Freedom Angels are going to help you learn how to lobby and go into those representatives' offices and say no more. It's important that you do your homework, though. Know who your senators are, who your representatives are in your district. You can go to findmyrep.ca.gov. I believe I'll put up the link. But you can just Google it. Find your representatives. Know who they are. Know their faces, because it's important that you just don't know their name, because once you go in the Capitol and you see them, you're not going to know who they are. So go online, print out their faces, know who they are, know who's in your district, know what their issues are, what they support, what they have supported in the past. This is why we need to do our homework. We can't just go in and say, I demand that you support us. We have to go in and support other representatives who are trying to do the right thing, because a lot of times they're trying to do the right thing, but they're getting strong-armed and they're getting threatened. It's happening. We've recorded it. It's live. We've recorded representatives being strong-armed. You better change your mind or else. We saw representatives being replaced because they were going to vote no on certain bills. What happened? They replaced them, pulled them in the back room, and brought somebody else on that we were never able to lobby. They have told us, behave or we're going to change the rules. This is happening all over the states. California, this happened. New Jersey, it happened. New York, it happened. It's happening everywhere. And the point of me telling you this is to know that it's not just health freedom. This is going to affect every single person, because health freedom is at the very, very bottom, right? And it's at the bottom of the pyramid. Instead of, ignoring this, we need to focus on the states that are having issues. So health freedom is at the bottom. The moment that we start losing those freedoms to opt out of medical procedures, you can be sure that that state's going to fall. They're going to try to take your guns. They're going to take your freedom of speech, your freedom of religion, privacy, security. You're going to be under tyrants' rule. So this is why it's important to know that you have to start getting involved, not just at the polls, not just during voting time, but during the time that your representatives are in office or in their district offices and going to the Capitol. Very, very important that we need to start looking at, instead of thinking that these representatives can police themselves, because they obviously cannot. They are being bought by pharmaceutical companies, they're being bought by special interest groups, and this is where we've lost our power as a people. We need to get it back. So if you guys, some of you guys don't know that Freedom Angels will be having merchandise. So this is our first one. It's our silhouette. And it says freedom for all, because we support freedom for all. We're not just health freedom movement. We're all around freedom. this is going to be the first step in our merchandise, because we need help. We need help with occupying, we need help with resources, we need help with funding. I also just did my Informed Mama logo, which will be for sale as well, because we need help funding this Occupy. Every Occupy takes money. It's incredibly important to support local activists. It's important to support local organizations. If you can't show up to the Capitol, help us with the fundraising. If you can't help us with the fundraising, help us with what you can, with emails, phone calls, creating flyers, helping us create cards. Everybody is a piece of this puzzle. We all have to work together, because the government, they have one goal in mind, and they work together regardless of what's happening. They fall within party lines. We need to be falling together for freedom and helping other people supporting their occupies. So if you're in New York, go to the New York vaccine, I forgot their Freedom Alliance. Go to Trenton, New Jersey and help them. Colorado, help them. In California, help us. It's important to go to the capitals. So we need to wear a multitude of different hats. I'm not saying just focus on the Capitol. There are different things for different things. So we need to wear one hat to go to the Capitol and lobby. We need to wear another hat for civil disobedience, because that seems to be the only language that they understand. We need another hat to go to the public and educate them on what's happening, because the public has no idea on the kind of tyranny that's happening in these states right now. So that's what's happening January 6th. If you do have to take a day off, and we're calling on the patriot men, we have the men coming, we have the patriots coming, we need more. We need the men to step in front of the women. We will fight for your rights to defend your Second Amendment, your freedom of speech and your freedom of religion, but we need your guys' help. So if you do have to call in to work, the day is January 7th. We are meeting at 8 o'clock in the morning, and we will be meeting on the north side of the Capitol building, where we will rally at the end, but we are going to go in there and remind them that those seats were given to them by the voters, and they're going to be taken away by the voters as well. If you guys want to help with resources, we will have the merchandise soon. We will also have an Amazon wish list, because we might need some things to occupy the Capitol, but we also need help with funding our Occupy. The way we do that is we have Zelle app, and again, I'll put this in the video. I also have a PayPal, theinformedmama@gmail.com is my PayPal address. We have a Venmo, Denise-Marie-14, which is all of it is gonna help us with this Occupy. We're trying to help getting buses out here and Airbnbs and food for our lobbyists. So if you want to get involved, you can email freedomangels@protonmail.com. If you want to contact me, you can contact me at theinformedmama@protonmail.com. So I hope to see you guys January 6th, January 7th most likely. And then if you can support Trenton, New Jersey, if you can support Albany, New York, Colorado, Florida, are all on the chopping blocks this legislative session. It's not just going to be health freedom, or it's not just going to be the vaccines. It's going to be all kinds of different bills coming out. It's an attack on our nation. So we're going to need everybody to have all hands on deck and to start getting involved with what's happening in your state. So thank you for listening. If you have any questions, again, you can always email me, and I will get back to you as soon as I can. Trenton, I believe, is the 8th and 9th. I believe, but I will put this on the description of my video. Once I get out of here, I'll update it with the dates that's happening in Trenton and New York. So I will talk to you guys later. Bye.